This is your economics teacher, Umar Farooq. We'll be starting up with one of the books, that is book first, Statistics for Economics. As already uh, I have made you people aware about it in a video which was like a welcome kelp. So in this very chapter number first, our topics will be the first and foremost what is economics. Second will be the meaning, scope, functions, importance of statistics in economics. So dear students, you are new to the world of economics. In the world of economics, you will have to learn a few things curiously and cautiously. When we start up with this class, when we start up with this topic, we will start up with what is economics. Economics is such a subject which is worldwide really very important and the most important thing being performed by the people. Everyone among you is an economist in itself. That you will come to know with the passage of time how. So starting up, I welcome you all to my class, to this lecture. Maybe this lecture may get divided into 2 or 3 parts. All will be uploaded on the same time. So I'll start up with what is economics. See, the word economics in itself has originated really very back in a famous language which is Greek. In Greek language, the term economics is derived from 2 words. Number first, economics. This word has been derived from a Greek language, where it is the amalgam, the mixture of 2 words. One is oikos and other is nomos. When we say oikos and nomos, oikos means household and nomos means to manage. If you look at these 2 very words, the oikos and nomos, household management, it simply says that it is a subject which helps you to manage with limited things in the most possible economic manner. If we go to the birth of economics, the word economics and the birth of the present day economics dates back to 1776. It dates back to 1776 when Adam Smith, the picture of the person is on the screen. This person published a book, An Enquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nations. This book was in a way a revolution. It gave birth to such a thought, such a way of thinking, which we term nowadays as economics. But at its birth, economics was basically political economy. Political economy means that it was such a subject which was only used by the governments, the nations. Before we proceed with all these very things, Adam Smith, being considered as father of economics, with his thoughts, in a way paved a way for the further studies. And before we go into the definitions of economics, we will understand a few important things, a few important terms. The definition of economics in itself is really very deep, because there was an economist who is known as Watson. He says that if there are 5 economists together, 5 people together talking about economics at a place, the consensus they will give will be 6. That means 5 people, if they discuss about anything in economics, let us say the definition in itself, the definition of economics, the consensus will be 6. What does it mean? The consensus will be 6 means they will come up with 6 definitions. It is because economics is a very dynamic subject. How? We will come to know. But before we come to the definitions of economics, I'll take the basic definition of economics. The basic definition of economics says economics is a subject which bridges a gap in between unlimited wants and limited resources. Economics is a subject which bridges a gap in between unlimited wants and limited resources. See, wants are unlimited, but to fulfill those wants, we have limited resources. So the subject which will tell you how you can bridge the gap in between these unlimited wants and limited resources is economics. When you will come to know the category-wise definitions of economics, you will come to know many more things, and you will be able to understand many more things regarding this definition in itself. I'll make a small example for you people so that you may understand this definition, and we will move forward. The example could be like, there is a person X, Mr. X. He has only, say, 100 rupees in his pocket, and he goes to the market to buy some, say, fruits, vegetables, or daily household utilities, or maybe some stationery items. Let us say he has to buy some stationery items. So when he looks into the market, he has to buy some notebooks, some pens, maybe some colors, etc. But when he goes to a shopkeeper and he inquires about the rates of these very things, he had to buy, say, 10 pens, 3 colors, and 5 notebooks. So when he goes to the market, he inquires about the rates. He is being told that 5 notebooks will cost him 50 rupees. 10 pens will cost him 100 rupees, and 3 colors will cost him the 30 rupees. Let us say that each and every unit is for rupees 10. He has only 100 rupees, but he, on inquiring, gets to know that he requires 180 rupees. So that means he is short of 80 rupees here. So what he will do? As earlier said, that everyone among you is an economist. So economics is a subject which bridges the gap in between. These are his unlimited wants circling in green, and these are his limited resources. So he has to bridge a gap in between these two. How he will? He will do one thing. He will buy, let us say, for a time being, he will buy only 3 notebooks for rupees 30. Okay. He will buy 5 pens for rupees 80, for rupees 50, and he will buy 2 pens only for rupees 20, or 2 colors. So it comes equal to 100 rupees. So he is able to manage his expenditure. So he will make the things to happen. He won't buy 5, but he will buy 3. He won't buy 10, but he would buy 5. So that means he is able to carry on with his day-to-day life. He is bridging a gap in between the unlimited wants and limited resources. So this is how economics works. This is very basic in order to make you people understand what basically Greek words oikos and nomos mean. How Adam Smith came with a definition of economics, why economics was born, why economics is such an important subject nowadays in whole the world. So when we proceed with all these very things in mind, we will come upon you will have to keep these dates in mind. As I said earlier, Adam Smith's book and all, in 1776 he published his book. So you will have to keep these all very things in mind. Here in 1776 he is publishing a book which is known as An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nations. You see, the words in the definition in itself are explaining, in the name are explaining many things. Please keep these words in mind. You will get to know what each and every word means. Say, into the nature and cause of wealth of nations. This is a very important word for people to keep in mind here. So before we proceed, we will do one thing. We will go through a few important terms in economics which we use on daily basis or day-to-day basis. The activities, the definitions, everything will rely upon these very small words. So whatsoever is produced is consumed. Therefore, you must know first who is a consumer, because economics will revolve round production, consumption, and distribution. So who is this consumer? When we say a consumer, he is a person who consumes goods and services. Services are also consumed. I am teaching you this time. I am serving you. You are consuming my service. So a person who consumes goods and services for satisfaction, like Mr. X, of his wants. He is known as a consumer. So the person who is consuming the goods and services. So these goods and services which are being consumed by us to fulfill our wants are being given or provided by the second person known as producer. So who is a producer? Now, who is a producer now? He is also a person who produces and we can say, or sells goods and services. Either he produces or sells goods and services. Which goods and services? Which we are consuming. Goods and services for what? Generation of income. For the generation of income, he is producing goods and services. So a person who is producing, who is making the factors of production to come together, combining them, making goods and services, providing them to us people, but he is doing it all for the generation of an income. So these are some important things. Number third, this is also an important thing to understand here. Then there are two more people who are together working in the economy. First is a service holder. Service holder. Who is the service holder? He is also a person who is in a job. A person, I'll write it down for you people. A person who is in a job to earn either wages. Students, wages means salaries and or let me write down it. Salary to buy goods is known as goods, and let us say services also is known as a service holder. So that means a consumer has to be a service holder first. By holding a service, he will do a job, and in that very job he will earn some wages or salaries. Then only he will be able to buy these goods and services. Number fourth you must keep in mind is service provider. Service provider. You see, everything is working in a chain. That is what is the beauty of economics. So there is a service provider also. So now, who is a service provider? Is a person who provides services to society. He is also doing it to earn something. That means to society, to earn money. To earn money. Let us say that is, let us say, a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, etc., etc. You can name many things here. These people are known as service providers. So they all work together in an economy, and then only they come up, they complete this circle. So there is a consumer who is consuming, there is a producer who is producing, there is a person who is working or having a job, a service holder, and there is also a person who is providing services. So he is known as a service provider. So before we proceed to the definitions of economics, we will understand that everybody among the above said people is one way or other way performing an activity. So these activities are being performed in an economy. So these will be called as economic activities. So these economic activities are day-to-day, whatsoever we do in day-to-day life. So everybody is engaged in different types of activities. So these activities, let me tell you people that I'll put it like everybody who is working, I'll categorize them, and this will serve as a very big purpose also in future to answer a very big question. So different people are engaged in Yes, different types of activities. So I'll not write economic or non-economic, I'll write just activities. Activities. So above said all people are engaged in some activities. Now these activities may be divided into economic activities and non-economic activities. So we have two categories of activities now here, economic activities and non-economic activities. So when we say the first thing, that is economic activities, we will talk of economic activities first. The activity which is basically related to use of scarce resources in an economy is called an economic activity. Not only that, these activities are such activities which are undertaken to perform or to earn something. When we say economic activities, these activities are such activities which are undertaken. Every person who is busy in performing these activities is doing it to earn the money. So economic activity, if it is to earn the money, then there must be certain activities which are not being done for earning purpose, that are called as non-economic activities. But before we proceed, we will name a few economic activities in a very detailed manner. First will be production is an economic activity. Then I'll talk of consumption. Then we'll talk of investment. Maybe exchange and distribution. It has to be there. So if you see that I am taking production, consumption, investment, exchange and distribution into context. I will explain all these very things. Now let us make a small diagram type to make you people understand what we were talking earlier about. We know who is a consumer. We know who is a producer. So I'll take only these two to make you people understand. See, a consumer is a person, a producer is a person. Both of the two people are performing an activity, as we said earlier. So this consumer and producer is performing an activity. So the consumer is most obviously performing the activity of consumption, while producer is performing the activity of production. Here you can understand now how we have to correlate or how we have to take things together. See, consumption and production. Consumption by a consumer. I'll change the color first. Consumption by a consumer. Production by a producer. So this is how you have to understand these very things. Now let us take these words one by one so that we may understand about these things. Then we'll come to the definitions of economics. That will be the part second of today's lecture. The part first is now going to get complete. So first definition is regarding production. So keep in mind, now production is an activity and production is being done for the purpose of earning something. So production is an economic activity. Is an economic activity. So being economic activity, production, if defined, is a process of converting raw material into useful things. Things means exactly goods and services. Useful things. When these things are being produced after converting the raw materials, these things now possess a utility. These things possess some utility. You know what is utility? Utility, everything has got a utility. Utility means the want satisfying capacity. Everything satisfying capacity. Everything has got a utility. You are using maybe a computer screen, maybe a laptop, maybe a smart TV, maybe your iPad or a smartphone to watch this video. So that thing which you are using has a utility. It is able to fulfill your want this time. What is your want? To watch the video, to learn something. So everything has got a utility. So production is an economic activity. It is a process of converting raw material into useful things. That useful things have got certain utility. That is what we are looking for. So production being an economic activity, for example, cloth is a raw material. What we make from cloth, we have got some cloth. Okay, what we make from it? We make, let us say, a shirt from it. So cloth is a raw material from which we make a shirt. This shirt now has some utility. We will wear it, we will use it. So it is satisfying our utility, our want. So from cloth to shirt, it is the process of production. Second thing what we are going to talk about is now exactly it is consumption. Second thing is consumption. Second thing is consumption. So what is consumption now? A consumer consumes the goods and services produced by a producer. That means consumption is a process also. So consumption is a process of using up utility value, or we can write it in simple terms, process of using the goods and services produced by the producer. No, that goods and services are being used because they possess a utility. So we'll use this very word, utility value of goods and services. Goods and services. So production, let us take an example. We drink milk, we eat food, we wear clothes, we drive a car, we use telephone or mobile phone. These are the activities. These are all economic activities in a way. We are consuming these very things. Eating, drinking, drying, driving, wearing clothes. All these are very consumption activities. Number third is investment. Unless and until investment does not take place, nothing can happen. It is such an economic activity which is concerned an economic activity which is concerned with production. See, I am using the above said word, production of capital. For a time being, keep in mind, capital is anything in the form of money or money's worth. A machine we have, it has got a worth, it is capital. So proceeding with the definition, an economic activity which is concerned with the production of capital, but goods. Now you must be saying, oh, we were talking about the goods only. Now we are talking about the capital goods here. So capital goods are such goods which are produced for the further production of goods and services. I'll write it like an economic activity which is concerned with production of capital goods for further production of goods and services. I will cite a very simple example. Let us say you being a student and I being a teacher. We both went, teacher, student, we both went to the market. We had to buy, let us say, an iPad. We both bought, let us say, an iPad Pro along with an Apple Pencil and all whatsoever we require. Now, you being a student will use it to study something, to watch movies, to play games, or to make certain drawings, or to work on your small projects, so on and so forth. I being a teacher will do all these very things whatsoever you will do, but I am also producing these lectures with the help of an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil. So if I invested in the capital because I am using up this capital to further produce goods and services. I am producing my service this time with the help of this. So for me it becomes a capital good. So a machine made to weave clothes is a capital good. So anything, investment is an economic activity. That means anything which is being used for further production is a capital good. Production of the printing press to print books, magazines, newspapers, etc. is also what? Exactly an investment. Investment means a capital good in other way. After investment,